Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an absolute machine of a cold email system that not only books qualified sales calls for you, but also turns that into newfound revenue for your B2B company. Now, make sure to watch until the end because the last step is debatably the most important and also where all the money is made. So make sure you watch until the end. Now, just to be clear, this isn't one of those outdated videos that's going to show you to launch a campaign on Apollo and send 50 emails a day, right? That's not what we're here for. We're here to show you how to send 2,500 emails a day and how to set everything up from start to finish and just the whole cold email system. Everything from writing scripts, finding message market fit, building quality lead lists, setting up the infrastructure, and everything else in between. So let's get right into the video. Let's not waste any time and let's get you sorted with a good cold email system that actually works and isn't taking a few months to kick in and to start working, right? So let's get into the video. Before we start, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Alex Makowski, and I've been running cold email for B2B companies for the past 2 years. I run Infinite Bookings, which is a 100% cold email lead generation focused agency that helps B2B companies in over 15 industries, and also just recently started teaching people cold email for just under $1 a day with my program Outreach 101. Outreach 101 includes over 13 hours of exclusive cold email content, weekly coaching calls, private community, unlimited store leads access, and a lot of other features that are definitely good if you're just trying to start out learning cold email or you're trying to get better at it. So I highly recommend you check out the description. There's going to be a link. It's going to be wap.com/outreach-101. If you're interested in learning it for $1 a day, I highly recommend you check it out. The good news is that if you don't like it within the first 7 days, we offer a 100% money back guarantee with no questions asked. So there's no risk to you. Now, I want to give you a full, honest disclaimer. Cold email will not work if your business doesn't have something that people actually want, right? That's pretty simple, right? You would think, but a lot of people still come to us and they think that cold email is like a saving grace for their business. But the only thing that can actually save their business is for them to start selling something that people actually need and want, right? So that's my full disclaimer, my full honest disclaimer. Cold email will not work if you're selling ice to a polar bear or sand to a beach or just something that people already have or don't even need, right, in the first place. So that's that. Now, I'll be honest, if you sell something saturated like IT, overseas IT staffing, or retainer-based Facebook ads to e-commerce brands, you will have a harder time cracking cold email and getting it to be reliable and effective and ROI inclusive. So you need to make sure that whatever you're selling, that you have the best possible offer, right? And that you actually are selling something that people need, right? If you sell something saturated like that, you're going to be dealing with low reply rates. You're going to be dealing with high spam rates. You're going to be dealing with people telling you not so nice things over cold email, and you have to be ready for that, right? Maybe cold email is not the best outreach method for you, right? That is possible. Sometimes we turn down people because cold email will simply not work for them as good as other methods, right? So you need to make sure that your business is fit for cold email. Now, I highly recommend you give it a try if you don't know that answer, but just be aware that it might not be the best thing for you. Where cold email really shines the brightest is in markets where there isn't a lot of sophistication, but your product has a high level of product market fit, right? That's where it shines the brightest. And you'll be surprised, some of our best performing offers are just simply running generic scripts, generic lists, but the offer is really where it shines the brightest. For example, medical diagnostic testing centers reaching out to rehab facilities, right? You wouldn't really think that works, but it worked extremely well and it generated a ton of new revenue for our client. Same thing with architects, right? We partnered up with an architectural firm, right? They did the computer-aided design and all that type of stuff, and they were reaching out to developers, right, in the US. So that people wouldn't really think that cold email would work really well for that, but we didn't even need that much volume to crack it, right? Just because there's a high level of product market fit and there's a low level of sophistication. So if you run some type of business that has super high saturation, super high amount of competition, and you're not really sure if you have product market fit, first refine that and then start worrying about outreach. All right, so let's get started with the first step of getting your cold email system up and running. Infrastructure, email account infrastructure. How are you actually going to send all of these emails? All right, so when we onboard a client at Infinite Bookings, we set up 100 email accounts. This is what allows us to send 2,500 emails every single day with near perfect deliverability. To set these email accounts up, we used to have a very complex and time-intensive and money-intensive process, but now we've simplified it a ton, and it still works very good, even better sometimes, right? So what we do is we buy 50 domains from porkbarn.com, which is a domain provider, and then we use premium inboxes or premiuminboxes.com to set up the 100 email accounts, right? So there's 50 domains, 2 email accounts per domain, which is 100 email accounts total, and it comes out for that to run $350 per month, right? They cost $3.50 per email account per month. If you want to use premium inboxes, we have an exclusive discount code for 25% off your first month's purchase. Just use code OUTREACH and you'll have 25% off. And like I said, the great thing about premium inboxes is that they are very cheap, right? They're $3.50 a month, which is more than half the price of a normal Google Workspace account. So it allows us to send a lot more emails for less or even the same price as before. So that's what is great about premium inboxes. And also their setup is so easy. They just give you an onboarding form, you fill it out, it takes 5 minutes, and that's it. So it's a great service. It's fully automated. We used to spend hours upon hours setting up Google Workspace accounts, configuring DNS records, and doing all this complex stuff, while Premium Inboxes takes care of all of that for us, and we don't really have to think about that and waste mental bandwidth and time and money on that. Once Premium Inboxes automatically uploads the email accounts to our Smart Lead account, which is our automated sending tool, which is what allows us to send all of our emails. We basically just quickly configure the SMTP settings and the warm-up settings to make sure that not only we have good deliverability, but we have that good deliverability over months and months, and we have some email accounts even for a year, right? For just over a year now. So we need to make sure that we take into account deliverability and longevity of the email accounts, because to be honest, the most expensive part about having email accounts is setting them up, right? Getting that first initial domain purchase and setting them all up. So that's all done. If you want to see how we actually set up the SMTP settings and the warm-up settings for maximum deliverability, that's inside Outreach 101. We have a whole module dedicated to that, so feel free to check it out. And like I've been mentioning, in the past year or so, the biggest hurdle with cold email has been hands down deliverability, and making sure that you're maintaining and managing deliverability so that you don't have to waste money on new email accounts and that you're actually landing in the prospect's inbox. So when it comes to deliverability, there's a few things that really come down to it. Number one, it's how you set up the email accounts. Number two, it's what you're actually sending to those emails, right? So do you have spam words? Do you have spin tags, stuff like that? And then the third part is who you are sending to, right? So is that message, whatever you're sending, is it sent to a relevant person? The thing is, if any single one of those factors that I just listed are neglected, you might as well throw out your email accounts right away. They are burned. It'll take you too much effort and time and money to try and get them back rather than just set up new email accounts, right? So that's why I'm saying you need to manage and maintain your deliverability, because the most expensive thing that can go wrong here is your email accounts getting burned, right? So you don't want that. Just manage and maintain your deliverability. Don't send too many emails and just follow the best practices. Now, you might be asking, Alex, like, why are you setting up so many email accounts and why do you want to send so many emails? That's because we want to give ourselves the best odds of winning, right? We used to set up maybe 10 to 20 email accounts per client, and yeah, we would get some results, but we could just control that factor and set up 10 times the email accounts and get 10x the results, right? So the whole point of setting up more volume is that you can test quicker, you can get better scripts quicker, right? You can optimize them quicker, you can optimize your lead list quicker, And the whole process is much more efficient because instead of sending 250 emails a day, you're sending 2,500 emails a day. So what I would send in one day, someone can send in 10 days, right? So it just gives you a competitive advantage, and the price difference is barely anything, maybe a few $100 a month. So you might as well just set up more email accounts. We'll probably be setting up more email accounts for our clients coming soon if we see that we're lacking on results. But that's kind of the whole methodology is volume should not be your limiting factor, right? Your total addressable market might be your limiting factor, right? How many people are in your market or how many people you can take on at one time, that could be a valid limiting factor. But the fact that you didn't want to spend an extra few $100 to set up email accounts, that's not a valid excuse. That's just you being lazy, right? So you need to make sure that you're setting up an ample amount of volume because that's what's going to give you the best odds of winning. We basically send so much volume that it's impossible for us not to generate leads for our clients. All right, so now that you know how to set up the email systems that will let you send 2,500 emails, you can even set up double the amount that we're sending and send 5,000 emails. Now that you know how to do that, I'm going to show you how to actually find the people that you're going to send all those emails to, right? So that's also a very important part. Now, the way that we do that is we take a look at your past clients, right? And we take a look at those categories and the characteristics that you have or your ideal client has, and we basically try and replicate that as closely as possible. These categories end up being stuff like job title, company location, industry, specific keywords, employee count, estimated revenue, technologies, and maybe even recent funding. Knowing this, we take a look at your past clients, your ideal clients, your Dream 100, whatever it may be, the people you want to be working with. We put those into our database, into Apollo.io, which is the leading B2B database for decision maker contact info. And we analyze what are the industries, what are the keywords, what are the locations, how big are these companies, all these different factors. And then we try and build a very close lookalike list of basically whoever we can find that meets those criteria, we get into a list. And we try to have at least a few tens of thousands of leads that we can contact on Apollo and export that through a third-party software, whether that's exportapollo.com, exportapollo.io, export list, whatever it may be. The one that we use will be in the description below, but that's how we do it. So we find basically who you want to get in touch with, and we create lookalike lists of that. Now, there are many different strategies for building lead lists, and it's different for each type of industry. But if you have specific, for example, examples of companies that you want to get in touch with, that's the best way of doing it. And that's the simplest way where you can get a very targeted lead list without insane amounts of effort, time, or money to get a very good lead list for yourself. The thing is, once you export that list using one of those exporters, you're not done just yet. You still need to verify those leads with a list cleaner or a verifier that's basically going to make sure that those emails that you're sending to are actual valid emails, and they're not emails that people stopped using, or that they're old emails, or they're emails that never even existed, right? Those are very unsafe to send to with your email accounts because that's where you start to get into the terminology of bounce rate. Bounce rate is basically where you're sending an email to an email that's not valid or hasn't ever existed or is old. And that's a big red flag to the email service providers like Google and Microsoft who keep track of all that type of stuff, right? And you need to make sure that your bounce rate is way under 3%, right? 3% is the max that you want your bounce rate. But the thing is, it's a very simple fix. Instead of just going directly from that CSV that you get from Apollo or whatever it is, you want to make sure that you run it through Million Verifier or any type of other email verifier. And basically, that's going to take away 30% of the emails. Around 30% usually it is. And it's going to make sure that you're only sending to the good emails or the safe emails with your email accounts. And that's going to eliminate this whole problem. And it's very simple. It's very cheap. You might as well just do it. So once you do all that, you have a fully verified, safe to send to lead list of decision makers within your ideal client profile. But one thing I always recommend everyone do is go through manually and check a few of the people and the companies that are on your lead list, on your final lead list. Now, this is the thing where most people, they'll say, oh, I don't know why my campaign's not doing well. And then they check their lead list and they're not even relevant people, right? It's the easiest thing to spot, right? You need to make sure you're reaching out to the relevant people, relevant job titles, relevant companies, right? And if even 50% of the people on there aren't good, you need to rebuild your lead list, right? You need to redo it because it's much more harm for your email accounts to send to those extra 50% that aren't relevant rather than just send it, right? You're going to get marked as spam. You're going to get flagged. You're going to get your email accounts burned because you're not sending to the relevant people, right? So you need to make sure that at least 85%, preferably 90 plus of those people are relevant people that you want to get in touch with at the good companies. All right, let's move on to the actual message that you're going to be sending to these leads. There's a ton of resources and information online on how to write the best script or the best script frameworks or the best script templates. And to be honest, most of it is complete BS. People will give you like the winning framework that will guarantee booked sales calls and new clients. But in reality, the most important part of the script isn't even the actual script. The most important part is the offer. The offer is what has the highest leverage in any cold email script, in any cold email campaign, in any type of marketing campaign in general. It's always about the offer. We follow a very simple offer framework sentence that you can use to basically tell your ideal clients exactly what you do and how they can benefit from this interaction in literally one sentence. It goes like this. We help our ideal client profile achieve a quantifiable result using a unique mechanism within time frame, right? And if we don't, well, then there's a risk reversal or a guarantee. Now, if there is product market fit for what you are offering, this offer sentence will single-handedly carry the entire cold email campaign, right? The entire cold email script also. If your offer is good and there's product market fit, you can quite literally send this one single sentence to your ideal client and they will respond. It's happened time and time again, and that's all they need is that one good offer and product market fit, of course. All right, so let's say you're at the point where you need to write your cold email scripts and you need them to be predictably good because you have everything set up, you have some money invested into this, you have the leads, you have everything, and now you need the scripts. I'm not going to give you templates or script framework or frameworks and copy and paste where you can kind of just put your offer in there and it'll magically work. What I'm going to give you is the framework and the thesis of how to write a good cold email script. Now, I know that may sound a lot more boring and a lot more work on your side, but that's what it takes to have a predictably good and efficient cold email script, right? So there's 3 things for this thesis, and that's why we call it the thesis of 3. And all 3 of these factors that I'm going to list have to be equally incorporated into your cold email script and cared about for it to be predictably good, right? So number 1 is direct, right? Number 2 is relevant, and number 3 is value-based, right? So you need all 3 of those factors, and they seem very simple, right? To actually have a predictably good cold email script. Now, one thing to note, I've run hundreds of cold email campaigns and written hundreds of cold email scripts at this point. If you're even lacking in one department, let's say it's not value-based, right? Let's say it's only direct and relevant, you will see lower results, right? I guarantee it, right? You will see less results from that campaign as opposed to as if you had all 3 of those factors. Like I said, your scripts need to be direct and to the point, and in reality, just let your offer or lead magnet shine through and do its work, right? That's why you need a good offer, good campaign level offer, good lead magnet. That's why it works. Now, I'm not just going to leave you with that. Inside Outreach 101, we have 3 hours exclusively dedicated to cold email script writing. We have live script writing. We have script writing frameworks, basically our top performing scripts that you can kind of take inspiration from. You can see what kind of offers we were running. You can see all of that behind the scenes inside Outreach 101. So if you are interested or you're lacking a little bit of creativity inside Outreach 101, not only the course will help you, but we also have a full community where we do cold email rewrites, where we have a coaching call where you can literally show me what your cold email looks like and how we can make it better. I can legit just write you a good cold email for it as well. So there's a lot of stuff that can help you inside of Outreach 101 when it comes to script writing. So at this point, you have everything that you need. You have the lead list, you have the email accounts, you have the scripts. You just have to launch the campaign, right? So you'll go into your automated sending tool, you'll load up your lead list, load your scripts, do everything like that, and launch your campaign. But don't get too excited yet because the job has only started, right? The whole point of this cold email system is to generate positive responses. And not only that, but it's also to convert those positive responses into booked sales calls and then even further into revenue, right? So that's the thing where you'll get positive responses, but you need to convert them into booked calls. And that's where having a proper inbox or lead management procedure comes into play. Like I mentioned, once you get a positive response, it is your duty and your job to get as many of those positive responses that you worked so hard for and you spent so much time and money getting onto a booked call, right? That's the whole point of this system. So I'm going to give you a few tips on inbox management just to kind of highlight the most important parts of it so that you understand what to actually focus on. By far, this is the most overlooked part of running an inbox management process and a cold email process in general. So let's get right into it. Let's give you those 3 tips that you can actually execute upon. Number 1, respond to the leads as quickly as possible, preferably within 15 minutes. Number 2, have a thorough response, but always include a call to action of getting them on a quick call to learn more. And number 3, the last and final one, and this one, by the way, has boosted our actual booked calls by more than 50% just by implementing this. That's how powerful it is. Give their mobile phone number a call and book them in that way if they don't respond right away, right? And there's a video guide on kind of how we get their mobile phone numbers in the description. So if you want to do that, it's called warm calling. Basically, just go to that and check it out. So you need to harness, the whole point of this is that you need to harness the hot lead status of those prospects and take that energy and convert that into a booked call, because the less and less hot a lead is, the less chance that you're actually going to get them on the call, right? So you need to take that, and a lot of people, they just focus that on the first 3 parts. So setting up the best possible email infrastructure, having the highest quality leads with buying intent and all these different crazy things, writing the best possible scripts and getting coaching calls on scripts and sending them off to editors and stuff like that, when in reality, those are all very important, but they completely neglect inbox management and lead management. And to be honest, that's kind of silly. That's where all the money is made, right? So you need to make sure that you have proper systems in place. It's not that hard. This is also something that we teach inside of Outreach 101. All right, and that brings us to the end of the video. I genuinely hope that you learned at least one valuable thing. If that's you, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel, because we will have a lot more of this type of content coming out soon. If you are looking to invest in yourself and in your education, for $1 a day, you can learn cold outreach from someone who's been doing it for just over 2 years. We have over 100 people in the server, 30 people in the program, so there's a lot of people to learn from. Like I mentioned, 13 hours of exclusive cold email content, unlimited store leads access, unlimited 24/7 support, and a lot of other features. So feel free to check it out in the description below. If you are a B2B company and you are looking for a lead generation partner, please book a call with infinitebookings.com/book-call, and we'll see if you qualify to work with us. So once again, I really hope that you learned at least one thing. I hope that you can take this information, input it into your business, and make some more money. That would be great, right? And yeah, hope you have a good day, and thanks for watching.